YTBC, it's your boy Ropes. I wanted to talk about this whole Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence shit because there's so many different opinions about it. Some people feel like Errol Spence hasn't done anything to earn a shot yet because he hasn't fought a contender, a former world champion yet, anybody ranked. Some people feel like Keith Thurman should take the fight because it'll be a good look for him to beat a young, undefeated fighter that looks promising, that has the stamp of Floyd Mayweather on him. And they feel like if he fights on Floyd Mayweather's undercard against whoever the fuck Floyd is fighting. You know, let me just say this real quick. I have never seen an elite fighter at this stage where Floyd Mayweather is start a training camp where nobody knows who the fuck he's fighting yet. Like, we're all hinting at Andre Berto. That's who we think it is. But why doesn't he just come out and say who he's fighting already? Why does he always have to play the fucking waiting game with the fans? If it's Andre Berto, just say it's Andre Berto and just get the shit over with already. People are already talking about it. People have already started doing predictions and shit like that. You might as well just go ahead and say that's who you're fighting. It shit just doesn't make any sense to me, man. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. They feel like Keith Thurman would get some good exposure by fighting on Floyd Mayweather's undercard in a co-main event against Errol Spence. All right. Then you have those people who say that Keith Thurman is ducking Errol Spence because he asked for $10 million for the fight. Now, I will admit that $10 million is a little pricey. I don't even think that Keith Thurman would get $10 million if he fought Mayweather or Pacquiao, which is the two biggest money fights that he can be in right now. So 10 million, you know, is a little extreme. But at the same time, I understand why he's asking for that amount of money. And I'll explain. Okay, now I'm going to talk about two particular types of boxing fans. There's several different types, but I'm going to focus on two. There's the hardcore boxing fan. The hardcore boxing fan doesn't want to hear anything about A side, B side. We don't want to hear anything about pay-per-view numbers. We don't want to hear anything about promotional company beefs, network beefs. We just want to see the fucking fights, the best fights, period. We don't want to hear nothing else. Make the fight happen. Just fight, fight, fight. And a lot of us are to the extreme in that opinion. Then on the other side, you have what I like to call the junior accountant. This guy tallies up all the ticket sales, the merchandise, the pay-per-view numbers, CompuBox. You know, he's always crunching numbers, and he uses those numbers to support whatever argument he's trying to make about why this fighter shouldn't fight that fighter or why this fighter should fight that fighter. And he's usually to the extreme in his opinion. I think that the perfect boxing fan meets somewhere in the middle of both of those extremes, because we have to understand that, yes, we do want to see the best fights. We do invest a lot of time into viewing these fights and covering them and making videos and stuff like that, listening to videos and all of that, following these fighters. So the best fights, we all want to see them, okay? But at the same time, you have to understand that this is a job to these people, okay? This is our hobby. It's just a hobby to us. We don't have to do any of the shit that they have to actually do when they get in that ring or before they get in that ring to prepare themselves for it, when they're in training camp, whatever it is. Okay. We don't have to do any of that. All we have to do is just sit back and enjoy the fight. This is a job to these guys, not a hobby. No matter what job you have, you can love your job to death. There's going to be days where you get up where you're like, I don't want to do this shit today. I feel like just chilling and doing nothing today. I feel like I've earned that. I've been working hard. I just want to relax. And I'm sure these fighters feel the same way when they're away from their families in training camp and they wake up one day like, fuck, I don't feel like working out today. I'm fucking tired. I don't want to do this fucking shit. But they still got to do it anyway, just like we still got to do it anyway, because we all got bills and shit. And they have to be ready for whoever their opponent is. And we got to start taking that more into consideration too. It's not all just about fight, fight, fight. Like I say, it's a hobby to us, not them. So if we meet somewhere in the middle and get away from those extreme fucking opinions that each boxing fan has, then I think that we could be better boxing fans. Now, with that being said, the reason why I don't have any problem with him asking for $10 million for the fight is because Errol Spence is being rewarded for doing nothing. He's undefeated. So what? Against who? You look at his resume, he should be undefeated. There's nothing on his resume that says, wow, I can't believe he beat that guy. There's nothing there. Okay? And for the people who say that this would be a good look for Keith Thurman if he was to win, that's not necessarily true, because let's say he goes in there and he demolishes the kid, okay? What happens if he never comes back from that? What happens if he starts taking L's left and right after that? And we go back 10 years from now, look at the shit on paper, we're going to be like, damn, Keith Thurman fought some fucking nobody who ain't fought anybody yet named Errol Spence. Like 20 years from now, like the people who aren't here in this moment right now, if they look back on it on paper, the shit is not going to look good. Okay? It's only going to be good if Errol Spence turns out to be who we think that he might be. He looks promising, and I don't have any problems with Errol Spence. I like him. And to be honest with you, I don't think that he's ready to be rushed like this. This is Floyd Mayweather doing all of this shit. I mean, did you see Errol Spence's face when Floyd Mayweather was talking after the the Broner versus Porter fight? Errol Spence was just standing there just letting Floyd talk, and sometimes he was looking like, man, like, you know, I'm trying to kind of take my time a little bit, ease my way in there, take the proper steps. But you guys think that it's fair for Errol Spence to catapult past everybody else and get a co-main event fight on a pay-per-view card, if it turns out to be a pay-per-view. I hope it's not, if it's against Andre Berto, but it's still a co-main event on a huge event, and fight for a title, and he hasn't done anything to earn that shit yet. Just because he looks promising, that's enough. Nah, man, if I'm Keith Thurman, I'd be like, you know what, you don't go ahead and compensate me for that, man, because Keith Thurman is being asked to take steps backwards to fight Errol Spence, to reward Errol Spence. What reward is Keith Thurman truly going to get out of it? On top of that, it is a tough fight. So why wouldn't he want to maybe save that for a better time when Errol Spence is looking even better than what he does right now, when he's already beaten some of the guys, at least one or two of the guys that Keith Thurman already fought? Because Keith Thurman is at the point in his career where we want to see him fight the top guys. Timothy Bradley, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, even Marcos Maidana, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Amir Khan. These are the fighters that Keith Thurman has shown us that he's ready for now. And what kills me is the people who get upset with Keith Thurman just because he's asking for a Floyd Mayweather fight. You reduce him down to Errol Spence's level because he wants to fight Floyd Mayweather. But then when he fights Luis Collazo, oh, look at this. We don't want to see this shit. Why is he fighting him? All of a sudden, he's too good now. He's too good when he's fighting Luis Collazo, but he's reduced down to a contender, to a fucking prospect when he asked to fight Floyd Mayweather. You guys can't have it both ways. Either you want to see him fight the top guys or you don't. Errol Spence is not a top guy yet. He's just a promising prospect. That's it. Nobody can argue with me that it's a step backwards for Keith Thurman. And it's a risky step backwards. Because yes, it is a good fight. But if Keith Thurman is going to take it now, he's trying to maximize that shit to where it could possibly be if the fight takes place after Errol Spence proves himself and builds his name up a little bit more. There's like, look, you gonna compensate me now whether I whip his ass or not. So that's why I don't really have a problem with him asking for what he feels that he needs. Okay, now, like I said, I still think it's a little bit pricey, but I understand where he's coming from. I just don't understand the people that are hating on Keith Thurman. And I'm not saying that everybody who feels he should fight Errol Spence is just hating on him. But there's a lot of haters of Keith Thurman out there. All because he wants to fight Floyd Mayweather. Every single fight that Keith Thurman is in, after the fight, motherfuckers get on here talking about he got exposed. Oh, he got exposed. He's beaten all of them. Okay? But he gets exposed every fucking time that he fights, according to some of these people here in the YTBC. He gets caught with a fucking kidney shot. He gets hurt like any other human being. And you guys forget the fact that he clearly won the fight. He made Collazo quit. You guys completely forgot about that. You wanted to talk about how he got exposed. Oh, he's exposed because he got hurt and then he came back and finished the fight. Now, nobody was saying that Floyd Mayweather got exposed in the second round against Mosley. They say that he got caught by Mosley in the second round. He came back and he dominated the rest of the fight and he won. The fight wasn't close. That's what people said. When he fought Marcos Maidana the first time, nobody said that Floyd Mayweather got exposed. At least his fans, the same people that are saying that Keith Thurman gets exposed every time that he fights somebody. Just because he gets caught with a punch and he may wobble a little bit. Even though he comes back to win. Nobody was saying Floyd Mayweather got exposed in the second fight when he got hurt in the third round against Marcos Maidana. Nobody said, oh, he doesn't deserve a shot against Pacquiao anymore because he got exposed by Maidana. Like, nobody says that shit. But every time Keith Thurman fights, people are talking about how he gets exposed. How he has flaws. People want to talk about how wide his punches are and how slow they are. Well, why the fuck can't his opponents get away from the shit then? If he's that slow and his punches are that wide, why in the fuck is he hitting the shit out of his opponents with those punches then? Why are they not able to get out of the way? Why is Keith Thurman required to change what is working right now for him? Because you're infatuated with the style of your favorite fighter. This is why there's styles in boxing. There's different styles. Everybody doesn't fight the same. Everybody doesn't throw punches the same. But you guys swear that if a fighter doesn't throw a punch as straight as Floyd Mayweather, that they got flaws. Oh, his elbow was bent. He didn't extend his elbow all the way out. He's going to get exposed. He's got too many flaws. Like, no, man. I don't want to see everybody fight the same. I don't want to see every fighter in the sport of boxing fighting like Floyd Mayweather. That would be boring as hell, man. We don't want to get rid of the boxer punchers just because you like slick fighters. We don't want to get rid of the brawlers because you like boxer punchers. Get over your favorite fighter and his style, man. People have different styles. Everybody doesn't fight the same. Okay, Keith Thurman needs to keep doing what's working for him and forget about what y'all are talking about. Okay, but my final opinion on it is I think that, yes, it is a good fight. It would be a good fight. But I think that Errol Spence needs to sit down somewhere, wait his motherfucking turn, fight the guys that Keith Thurman has already beaten, at least a couple of them. Beat some contenders, beat some former champions, and build his name to where Keith Thurman has gotten his name off of beating those guys, off of beating Robert the Ghost Guerrero, giving him the worst beating that I've ever seen him take. Worse than the one Floyd Mayweather gave him. He can fight Luis Collazo. He can fight Soto Carras. he should be fighting Diego Chavez. Not catapulting past all of that and then getting a co-main event fight on a big fight. You know, like he just doesn't deserve that shit yet, just because Floyd Mayweather said so. So I disagree with all of you who are saying that Keith Thurman is ducking Errol Spence. Okay, we don't even know if Errol Spence is going to be here 5 years from now yet. Because he's undefeated, but he's undefeated against who? What's so spectacular about him being undefeated when you look at his resume? You know what it's kind of like? I'm gonna make one more point before I get out of here. Asking Keith Thurman to fight Errol Spence is like, let's say you've been on a job for 4 years, okay? And you've gone to a couple of different departments, you've mastered them. You're a star employee and a promotion comes up for a management position, let's say. And they're telling you that you have to compete for the promotion against the guy who just got there 2 weeks ago. Just because he may appear to be a shade faster than you. He can multitask. He may look like a promising employee. How are you going to feel if they tell you you have to compete with that guy for the promotion? You're going to be like, man, fuck this dude right here. You don't even know if he's going to be here next week. I've been here 4 years. I got the experience. Yes, that guy may look promising, but we just don't know yet. He hasn't put in any work yet. That's kind of how I view this whole thing right here, man. But anyway, I'm out.